Hey everybody, welcome back to a look back at JoshL2. We left off on level 101 titled System Breach, and this level is quite a level, if I remember it correctly. So there's this mechanism at the start of the level that you don't really know what to do with, so let's just look around and see what we got going here. So this whole mechanism is basically you have to go through and press the tank buttons one at a time to get blocks out, and you just progress on with the level that way. It's a very extended concept. I'm actually going to start over and just press the tank button from the get-go. And you have to do this, I think, 9 times. So this section of the level definitely overstays its welcome. I am very well aware of that. Nowadays, I would not have designed something this extensive. But for at the time I designed this level, it wasn't really something I've seen done before. And I think you can technically skip this in MS. So I could keep going down and getting more blocks if I wanted to. So yeah, as you can see, you could probably skip a couple button presses, but we gotta go all the way around. So yeah, and the funny part is, this isn't the whole level either. Like, if this part of the level was the entire level, I think it would have been fine. But oh well. So while we're doing this, some things to talk about, since I haven't I kind of used this LP as my opportunity to actually talk about stuff, since you know, the other two I'm doing are kind of blind. It's kind of hard to wrap around 3 different CCLPs at the same time. Oh, did I screw it up? Well, actually, I think I'm okay, since I skipped a section, or not skipped a section, but I got a block out early, so I think I'm okay, but I don't know for sure. That's an arbitrary block loop, just to make the level longer. That's one thing. I don't know if I'm most likely not the only designer out there that feels this way, but I don't know. I think there's like this sense of, I don't know what the word is, but there's this really awkward thing where you kind of feel the need to make a level a certain length, so to say. Like, some people like ridiculously short levels, and some people like the overly long ones, and that's cool and all. But everyone has their own preferences to how long a level should be, and there's obviously always going to be those spots in certain levels that don't need to be there and are only there just to make the level last a little bit longer than it needs to. My personal preferred level length is probably between 300 and 450 seconds long. Okay, I should be fine since I skipped a section. I'm glad I kept going. That would have been a really dumb screw up if I just restarted. But that's for the long ones. I think a good level length is about 100 to 150 seconds long. But I don't know. It depends on the concept of the level in question. But this part of the level alone, it takes up more than 200 seconds. So this is, yeah, a pretty extensive section. But we finally got the last block. Thankfully, I don't think the rest of the level is mean by any means. There might be one other part of the level that's kind of mean, but not really. Okay, so you might think this connects to this block right here. I don't think that's the case. I think it connects to this fireball cloner. Yeah. And you use the pop-up walls to go back. So now the tanks are flipping. Which you have to have that be done to get through this corridor. I like this corridor. I like the way it works out. Okay, so this is another part of the level. This was supposed to be like a security breach type level, as if the level title doesn't suggest that. That's what the corridor of the tanks is for. It's supposed to like block your way in, even though it doesn't really do the job well. So get that first, because we're going to need to do that. And I guess theoretically we can just push the block left, but I'm going to do it the way I intended on doing this when I designed this level, and push it down. So the ball's just going to go through this cycle of pressing all those trap buttons. Okay, so we got a little ice section. That has a pretty nice looking shape to it, I gotta say. Given the space I had. Okay, I don't think the toggle parity matters much. Okay, I provided a forest floor here so you can go back easily. So this is what the keys are for. It's just to get those chips. Okay, we gotta wait. Alright, moving on. So this is just a run type section. Okay, they all drowned. Pretty nifty little part. Okay, here we got a little teeth section. It's honestly a little cramped for my liking nowadays, but it's not terrible, I guess. Okay, so yeah, basically after that mechanism, the rest of the level is just pretty much straightforward. It's just basic chip collecting. This button will stop the fireballs from cloning. So that's the button that connects to the block cloner we saw earlier. So any of the fireballs that we did see, they now go in that room right there. Okay. And you could theoretically go back, but there's no sense of doing that. Alright. Again, I liked this idea back then. And that's the level. So system breach is complete. It's honestly not that bad, I guess. The initial idea is it's a lot longer than I probably would have cut that by like at least half if I were to redesign this level, but oh well. Alright, the nature of ice. So this level is kind of interesting. It has quite a few different ways of using ice in sections, and this hint is pretty notorious of mine, I gotta say. In this level, you will experience slide delay hell, MS. Yeah, I completely butchered the grammar for that. So what I was meant to say, we will be experiencing slide delay hell if you're playing in MS. Yeah. I don't know what drugs I was taking when I made that hint. Alright, so this is a annoying wall ripoff. Except you gotta do it with 4 blocks, I think. Yeah, 4 blocks. Annoying wall is probably, honestly, it's probably one of my favorite concepts in CCLP3, even though it's so simple. I think the way it was, I think it's just because it's its own level makes me like it a lot. Okay, then we use these other 2 blocks to get this one. This is kind of cool, I suppose. Annoying wall in my Walls of CCLP3 project is, I know I made a pretty good level out of it with Walls of CCLP2, or no, Walls of CCLP3 in the CC2 version, but I have to confess, I'm kind of thinking about not doing that now. Mostly because, you know, JB's doing his Walls of CCLP1 project in MS, and I'm kind of inspired just to focus on the CC1 version of Walls of CCLP3. It's kind of a tongue twister to keep talking about it, but I guess I'll talk about it more when I actually have a level to talk about it on. Okay, so this section, believe it or not, has inspired at least 2 people that I know of. I think one of them was Kevin Stallman in his KTN USA set. And yeah, that's what happens when I don't pay attention. So the Walls of Annoying Wall level I made for CC2, I think I called it Annoying Rover. It's basically it basically has a rover that is in the area, and you have to you know, get blocks underneath all the chips, and optional bonus section, key swapping section for our bonus at the end. But I've been looking at the level for a CC1 version with the Walls of Annoying Wall, and I don't really know what to make out of it, honestly. I've kind of debated on making like a blob level or a like a Sokoban level, but I'm trying to do something like take a different approach with every level that I make in Walls of CCLP3. Like basically whatever primary tile appeared in the original level in CCLP3, I want to kind of make it the not so prominent tile, so to say. And I know blocks are a huge thing. Okay, the pattern's different here. It's just the middle one cloning. Anyway, this is a timer, by the way. It's not evident by any means, but it's a timer. I think since it's cloning frequently, it's probably going to clog up faster, but I don't know. I've never experienced that that timer. I made the slide pretty long, so I should be fine. Basically, I get all the keys to get the rest of the chips. Now, if I made this a Sokoban, that would have been kind of rude, but it's simple block pushing. And slide delay is a tremendous factor in this, but oh well. Let's cheat. There we go. Alright, I just gotta get the yellow key. I need 3 blocks to do it, apparently. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna make it. That timing screwed me up. I don't remember the mechanism that controls that. I know it's not a blob. You can kind of see it up there. Now, let's see what happens. Oh, I somehow managed to get the toggles to deflect the ball into the middle. Okay. Alright, well, I'm 100% certain I am screwed. Yeah. There might have been a way to salvage that, but I don't think so. I think the corridor is a one block only type thing. That's kind of mean, but I take, obviously I take full responsibility for that since I designed this really stupid level. But yeah, walls of CCLP3 for CC2. I'm not going to abandon it completely. I mean, I'm just not going to be super persistent with it like I am with the walls of, like what I am with the CC1 version that I'm working on. Which I'm currently working on my 30th level for it right now. I don't know if I'm going to release an early version for it. I know JB recently released a 26 level version of Walls of CCLP1, and there's nothing wrong with that by any means. But I'm thinking about releasing an early version since he has done it. JB's my inspiration for a lot of things, honestly. I think he's an inspiration to a lot of people. Okay, so I think if I leave that open, okay, the cloning's more persistent now. Okay, now we have ourselves a little bit of a much better timer. That's the timer I intended on there being in this level. And if anyone's wondering what walls I'm using for this 30th level that I'm working on, it's the walls of Chip Alone Lost in Chip City. Wow, that block sat there forever. Okay, let's get that opened up. Oh yeah, this is much better timing. This is extremely lenient. The other way was like, I'm not sure if it would have been possible or not, but maybe if you're more optimistic about the way you handled the blocks, but I don't know. I'll leave that to someone who cares to find out. Alright. I like how I put two green locks right there for whatever reason. And an extra pop-up wall, because why not? Okay, so now all we gotta do is just slide across that, which isn't as bad as you might think. Alright, so we got all the chips now. Now we just gotta go back through this. And we have ourselves a little preview of the next level coming up at the end. I kind of did that with this part of the set. I don't know why, but I did. But anyway, that was Nature of Ice with a really stupid hint, but whatever. Alright, Teeth Sokoban. This is basically a Sokoban that just has teeth as acting walls with random exits being hidden because 2011, 2012 design era. That's why. So the whole inspiration behind this level's creation was when I played CCLP 3 and I got to, what was that level called? I think it was called Recurring Dream. And it had the teeth monster on top of Growl, and as I am with my, silly, idea of monsters on top of unconventional tiles like rocks and gravel and dirt, etc. I was just so fascinated by that idea, and I decided to make a whole level based on teeth being on top of gravel because that's pretty cool. And of course, later on, Slime Forest got into CCLP 1, which had blobs on top of gravel. I never understood why that was renamed to Slime Forest, because it was named Slime Cave, I want to say, and I don't know if it's just me, but I think Cave made more sense. Maybe there was just more cavern-esque levels in CCLP 1 already. I don't know. I think that makes sense now that I think about it, because there's Sapphire Cavern, there's mining for gold keys, which could be pretty evident that's cavern related. I want to say there's at least one more that takes place in some kind of cave. But anyway, this level isn't anything special though. It's basically the blocks somehow end up taking up all the same paths, which doesn't make it that interesting really. And believe it or not, there's actually more teeth monsters in this level than the monster list allows for. So there's a couple of teeth in here that don't move. At least in MS, and Lynx, I believe they all move, if I understand the rule sets correctly. Let's see here. This was a level I also, for whatever reason, decided to include for CCLP 4 consideration. I kind of repurposed it a little bit and kind of took away some bits. I hope I didn't screw this block up. Yeah. Okay, well I have a block up here anyway, so that means I can redo it. Okay, so yeah, you're basically getting the chip, and once you get the chip, you're free to leave. So speaking of teeth Sokobans, apparently that's a thing in level design now, because I guess there's a level in Walls of CCLP 4 that utilizes a tooth monster in a Sokoban, and I guess that concept was done as well in JB's Walls of CCLP 1. I haven't played either of those levels, but I've seen the one that that JB made. I think the one in Walls of CCLP 4 is called, it's like something village, like Terrace Village or something like that. I haven't gotten to it. I don't think I'll get to it for a while, but apparently that's a concept. And I don't want to really crap on the concept because I haven't played it yet, and random blocks at the end, and a random teleport sequence at the end. That's cool, I guess. Alright, so Teeth Sokoban is done. I guess we'll see how that concept plays out when I actually get to those levels, or at least the one in Walls of CCLP 4. Alright, Numb is the next level. So this is basically my take on Steam, or Triple Maze. So the funny thing is, I kind of did this unintentionally. So the path I intended on the player taking first was the this way to get the flippers, and then go all the way around to get the suction boots. But you can completely skip that bit and just get the suction boots right away. I never realized that initially. I literally just realized it right now. But that's clearly been an issue since I've designed this level. Alright. it's a nice little shortcut, I guess. I don't hate it completely. The sad part is this isn't even a maze. It's just a path, which makes this level slightly less interesting. But hey, you get 2 boots here. Oh, it's still just a path. And an exit behind bombs you can never get to because, yay, some blocks for some reason. And another block that you might think you can get to, but you actually can't. And more blocks. I was really random with my designs back then. But I like that. It shows that I have improved as a designer. I don't think I would have done stuff like that nowadays. But who knows, maybe I'll throw in some surprises in this Walls of CCLP3 set. Maybe. You actually backtrack here, so that's a little shift of change. So the level title, it might not seem like it, but okay, you actually got all 3 boots here. Might not seem like it on first glance, but it's actually named after a Linkin Park song, which I still like to this day. It's probably one of my favorite songs in existence. And yeah, Linkin Park's not everyone's preferred band, but I like them. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Alright, quick course. So this is my arbitrary, quickly timed level. Okay. Get that. Get some suction boots. Get this. This is definitely a level I would not design these days. Okay, got some, I think 4 red keys. Got ourselves a little bit of a nail here. That's pretty cool, but that's included. Okay, so I don't remember this part. This is a little weird. Okay, so a little bit of tidbit about that ending. It's actually not possible in Lynx. I realized that maybe a couple months ago. Someone messaged me on CC's. I think it was Bob the Baron, if I remember right. He messaged me on CC Zone about this level not being compatible in Lynx because of that ending. And I'll be honest here, I didn't know that at the time, and no one really played the level. And I don't think anyone really played this level in Lynx, including me, obviously. And just never really said it wasn't solvable until then, and that was like 5 years, 6 years, well after the set was released and finalized. I don't really care enough to update it because, again, no one's really going to update a 6-year-old set for no reason. No real reason, just to replay one level that's already kind of stupid as it is. But anyway, it's just kind of funny that that's not possible in Lynx. Oh, speaking of Lynx players, you must slide the blocks off the ice in order to beat this level. So this one's solvable in Lynx. So this level, Boulder Dash, is a reference to the Crash 1 level, which is, I have to say, is probably my favorite Crash 1 level in the whole game. I don't know, when it comes to like the music especially, it was just such an intense rush. Like, I had this massive adrenaline rush. I can't even talk right now. Okay, the boulder got me. But yeah, I have this, I get this adrenaline rush whenever I play that level, especially in the originals. The remastered Crash game, with this level, I don't really care for, honestly. The music just completely destroys the experience. Oh, I thought it was on the gravel for some reason. But yeah, this level in MS is a lot easier because you have boosting, but in Lynx you don't have that. So you actually have to push the blocks off the ice to beat it in that rule set. Surprisingly enough, I actually like this dodging section. Probably has a little bit too much monsters in here, but I like the fact that it exists. I press left. Come on. So yeah, I think the mechanism is you only clone one block at a time. Get out of here, fly. What the hell are you doing in my room for? Okay, I kind of panicked there. I'm glad I managed to somehow survive that. Probably won't no longer be the case. Alright, it's a little chaotic now that I think about it, but it's not too bad, I guess. And these are not connected vertically because I'm a silly person. All right. You actually have a lot more leeway with that than you might think. And this is just basically, again, another path. Kind of an anticlimactic ending, honestly, but oh well. I mean, you have this bit, and you could still solve it in MS, but in Lynx, if you push the block, you're kind of screwed. Alright, Boulder Dash is complete. Not the most interesting level in the world, but it's still there. Alright, well with that, everyone, I think we're going to end it off right here. I'm going to just go ahead and end it off right now before it hits over 40 minutes, because I'm going to try to change things up a little bit. And this level is not exactly short, but whatever. We will see you next time for Pink Ball Pond, which is another video game reference, believe it or not, just with the title altered to make more sense in the world of Chip's Challenge. But we'll get to that well, you know the drill. I'm clearly still bad at grammar, as the hint in The Nature of Ice suggests. I'm still not the best with grammar. But anyway, I will see you guys next time.